Well, Ferrari could go public by July. CEO Sergio Marchionne says he could sell all the shares in the time it takes him to eat a bagel. Okay, the appetite is strong. Our Matt Miller sat down for an exclusive interview with Marchionne, who also runs Fiat Chrysler, joins us now. So, boy, he's bullish.
He is, but well, look, how can you not be? I mean, everybody would love to own, even if only a very small piece, some kind of Ferrari. You know, you were talking with Boris Johnson earlier.
Yes, that's right. He rode in one, or he drives one.
He's the mayor of London. He drove one and ran out of gas, apparently, in the A40. But the deal is not set in stone yet as far as how the shares will be allocated. I asked Sergio, for example, if I buy 10 shares of Fiat Chrysler, will I then get like 1 or 5 shares of Ferrari? He couldn't tell me that yet, but he did say they're thinking about some kind of loyalty scheme. Listen in.
What we have found is that in terms of governance, having some type of loyalty scheme actually encourages people to be long-term investors, right? Because the one that we've got in place in S.p.A. allows you to earn your right to have the extra votes if you hang on to it for 3 years. So it's a long-term commitment strategy in terms of the shareholder base. It may work its way into Ferrari. We don't know yet.
So this is fascinating, and a lot of American shareholders may not be familiar with it. In Holland, if you they have one set of rules that can go, if you own the shares for a number of years, you get more voting rights. And they've just put this into place in Italy as well, which gives the Agnelli family, which of course has owned its Fiat shares for decades and decades, maybe a century now, great position as far as the company is concerned. They will then have a great position if they do this with Ferrari, as far as Ferrari is concerned as well.
Okay, so this is investor appetite that we're talking about, right, Matt? So what about sales, though? What about consumer appetite for Ferrari?
Well, I saw you talking earlier about sales in Europe, and he is bullish on their position there, basically because they have nowhere to go but up, right? The interesting thing is that Sergio thinks sales may be nearing a peak here in the U.S., although that could be sustained for a couple of years. Listen to how he put it.
I think we're toying with the peaks, right? I mean, 16, 17, 17 and a half, you might get to 18 million. But I think in terms of overall SARS numbers, you're now in the comfortable range. And so I think that these numbers will hold, and it will hold certainly for the next 2 or 3 years. But I don't think you're going to see explosive growth from this point on.
Bottom line, as far as the sort of 35,000-foot view of this company is concerned, he's been talking about M&A a lot lately. People have been wondering if he's putting himself out as a target or as a buyer. Since he's been doing that, though, the shares have rocketed up 50% in the last 6 months. And, of course, they just continue to hit new sales records for Jeeps, and a lot of the other popular products are selling.
What about this? Look, the Greeks who have been avoiding taxes and buying expensive Ferraris are getting smoked out, right? What about the rest of Europe? Isn't that going to have an impact?
Well, look, there's always going to be enough demand for Ferraris. They only sell 7,000 or 8,000 a year. I think he's hoping that they'll sell more Jeeps, for example, in Europe. They'll sell more Maseratis in Europe, and maybe
something
they'll
more
even
reasonable.
sell
Well, Maseratis
more Fiats.
are nice.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, great to see you.
Thank you
So much, Matt Miller of Bloomberg.